So, hello, bonjour. Hi, everybody. So, just before we start, I'm going to introduce Kahienes, who's going to give us the land acknowledgement. So, thanks very much.
Is this okay? Good morning, everybody. Before I start, I'm scanning the room to see if I have any other brothers or sisters from Kahnawake in here. Kaduya. Any brothers or sisters from the Haudenosaunee people? Yeah. Any brothers or sisters from any indigenous nation? All right. What's going to warado? Yo yanane ne tiga ne zatkota ne ize ne ngwehue. Welcome to Haudenosaunee land, if we want to call it that. Although Tiohtià:ke, Montreal has been a venue of many cultures throughout histories, the books will tell you different. A lot of the stories I know are from my elders. And a lot of those stories ring true to today, that it still remains a gathering place for different cultures and different spirits. I'm going to say it like that. I was just sharing with my awesome colleagues here at the round table this morning that one of the things that happens when I get asked to come to share any words is I usually get a message to share, and I got a really strong message last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I will share that once I just start. It's important to know that Tiohtià:ke isn't just Mohawk land. Again, to me, in my knowing, Tiohtià:ke belongs to a conglomerate of indigenous people who were here long before. Our people didn't really settle here. We were kind of like all over the place, having villages here and there and enjoying what Yetinistan Ziohozade, what our Mother Earth provided for us. But without going into history, there was a need to settle on the other side of the river. I'm from Kahnawake, the south shore of Montreal. Kahnawake is a Kanien'kehá:ka village. Mohawk is what people know it as, but we say Kanien'kehá:ka, which really means people of the flint. So a lot of our homelands are in Kanien'kehá:ka, which is Mohawk Valley, the land of the clay pot, but again, we traveled a lot, so we didn't have just one village here and there. I needed to share that because a lot of people really don't know who the Kanien'kehá:ka are or the Haudenosaunee. A lot of people don't understand the many, many nations here in Quebec area, let alone the country Canada and North America. So part of me standing here is an acknowledgement for my dear friend Nakoset, who asked me to come in her place to be able to share. In her knowing, she understood I was from across the river, from Kanien'kehá:ka territory, and Nakoset's people come from the west, although she settled here in Tiohtià:ke with a family. So those of you who know me and maybe don't, I can stand up here all day and talk, but I'm not going to do that. My family is Sky. Kahienes is my name. Sky people are well known for their gift of gab. But I was nervous coming in this morning, especially on the elevator when I heard it was sold out, the venue. So you'll have to bear with me if I skip a word here and there. In my culture and in many indigenous cultures, we don't really have prayers. We have acknowledgements of our connection and our place in creation. understanding our place in creation postulates how we're going to be and how we're going to conduct ourselves with our roles and responsibilities. And acknowledging that it's an understanding that when you offer a Thanksgiving, a land acknowledgement, or an opening, what you're really doing is you're calling upon all the powers that be. And included in that is each and every part of creation. And when you're doing an opening, sometimes it can take up to an hour. Some people take 2 hours. It depends. I'm not going to take an hour. I'll take a couple of minutes here, but I know sometimes it's hard to translate back and forth. So a disclaimer for me is I am a product of Federal Indian Day School. My community is still trying to unpack that. We have different family members who are products of residential school, and what that means is we're attempting really to reclaim our place in who we are, and trying to walk with that open heart despite of. In my teachings, the Haudenosaunee people are people of the Great Tree of Peace. And those teachings acknowledge that those who have that mind are always welcomed to seek shelter and refuge under that tree of peace. And a lot of it is about health. It's holistic health of the mind, the body, the spirit, but also the connection we have to our land base. So in unpacking that, I don't have a fluency in Ganyak Geha, which is the language of my people. I'm still learning. Therefore, I'm not an elder, because I'm still learning. I'm a matriarch in training. I like to use that term because once I get there, towards that space where I can call myself an elder, I'll do that. But for now, I'm not there yet. So from my people to your people, we still have our leadership. We have our chiefs, our clan mothers. We have our sub-chiefs, our sub-clan mothers, or helpers, community helpers. We have our faith keepers. Our form of government and governing ourselves is still intact. A lot of people don't acknowledge that and don't realize that, but we still follow our hereditary lineages. Therefore, my name, my clan, I am a clan member of the Wolf Clan, Rona Tahioni, they who lead the way. They who lead the way are responsible to ensure that the pathway is cleared, that the pathways have a way to allow the people to enter without shame, without guilt, without anger, and keeping that skana, and to enter those pathways to create and forge those relationships, because the Wolf Clan is kinship. We're responsible for family. So I wanted to say that, because to say it in my language would be a lot. A small translation as I go along, as we open, which I'm going to do right now. I ask you to keep in mind the words that are being shared is not a prayer. It's a reminder of who we are and how we postulate ourselves to conduct ourselves for the day and for tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow to close the event. So when I say Tony Aduhak ne unkwahni gorda, what I'm asking you is, if so be it our minds, if that's our minds. So in the Thanksgiving, we're acknowledging all those pieces of creation that are here, that are witness to the amazing, dedicated, much needed work that you're going to be doing while you're here, because you will be working. And I noticed the food is amazing, and the venue is spectacular. So it's my honor to be here and to share these words. So, on a God, you know, ne uanizara ne deotinumorado ne zewakwego ne unquesua. That's the people. We're giving thanksgivings for all of the people. Etoni oduha ne unquanigorha. To. To or yo is the way we would respond, or you can say ha, which is yes. So deo tinumerado ne giga ne zewakwego ne yetine stahanzio hozade. Ne giga ne zewakwego ne gonterio. Ozida goa ozino soa. Dano goza soa. Dano gate carunio nequa soa. Dano zewakwego ne garunda sona. Ogara soa. Dano onzokwego. Etonio duha ne unquani gorda. That is all of creation, from the animals to the insects, to the birds, to the waters, the fish, and all of the plant life that lives, including the onunkwa, which is the medicines. The medicines really is everything, but the medicines that grow our people still practice that. We still follow our ways of knowing the plant life. We still listen to them. We listen to the animals. They call to us, we practice that still. So we give thanksgivings for all of them. Etoni aduhak ne unguhani gorda. Dano deo tinuwarado ne giga ne gayeri niwarage. Nene giga ne nago tarege enago dano aje. Nene giga dano zewakwego ne deo twentnuni ne asana. So we give acknowledgement and thanksgivings to those 4 directions. The 4 directions that bring all those medicines that we need to sustain our life while we're here on this earth. Etoni oduhak ne unkwani gora. Dano deati numerado ne zewakwego ne garuyage, dano garuyage rono. Nene giga ne yetisato oguha. Dano yetisato oguha ne zauyerda. Dano aksota suntankaneka garakwa. Dano sunkwazia janeka garakwa. Ne zewakwego ne yetisato ogua. Etoni aduha ne ungwani gorda. We give thanksgivings to our sky world. I share this often when I go, that our people are from the stars. We're star people. We acknowledge that, as are many other indigenous nations. So our reference to sky world includes those stars that are out there, those planets, those galaxies, and those beautiful, amazing suns and moons that are out there. We give our thanksgivings, and we acknowledge our ancestors that are here today. Etoni aduhak ne unkwani gorda. And finally, what I would like to say is the message I got last night. It's very important that when we carry out any work that we're doing, that we always remember reconciliation starts with who we are in relation to our surroundings. Who we are in relation to our surroundings acknowledges all of the companionship and the friendships and connections we make with our brothers and sisters of the earth. That includes the animals and the birds, the insects, and the fish. They are sentient beings, irregardless of what people think they are. So too are the plants, so too are our trees, and without all of them, we probably wouldn't be here. So I think that if you can find a place in your heart during the time you're here in Jojage to maybe get yourself to the water. Jojage means the splitting of the waters, or the place where the rapids split or they meet together. And if you can find a way to get down to Verdun, there's the rapids there on a small little island, and I can't remember the name of the island. But when you go walk there, you will feel the power of that energy. And our people always knew, especially our women, because we still practice our feminine ceremonies, that we knew that when you stand by the water, when you're at a space where you're not feeling balanced, because we look at holistic health in our health, when you're not balanced, you just got to go to the water, talk to the water literally, because the water's been here forever. Not one drop less, not one drop more. She's always been here, and she knows you. She knows who you are. So I encourage you to do that while you're here. I want to welcome you to Gonyok-Gehaga territory in the land of the Haudenosaunee and other different nations, and I thank you to my brothers and sisters of other Ngwehonwe nations. Ngwehonwe meaning indigenous or the people of the earth that are here in this land base. So have an amazing conference, forge really good friendships, and we'll see you tomorrow. Talk to you on again.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that great opening, very thoughtful, and look forward to also hearing you close the ceremony tomorrow. Thank you for coming. So, bonjour et bienvenue.
Good morning and welcome to the Partnership Conference for the year 2022 in the beautiful city of Montreal. I would also like to welcome all of those who are watching us live on the web. I'm very happy to see you in person after 2 years of virtual conferences.
In the last partnership conference that we held in person, and that was in November 2019 in Ottawa. And there's really no substitute, I think we'd all agree, for being able to gather in person to talk about digital health, achievements, challenges, the potential solutions that we can work on together, all in partnership. And so I hope you can take full advantage of the opportunities to network with old and new colleagues over the next couple of days. And I hope you have a great experience learning from and interacting with our dynamic and thought-provoking speakers. And talking about speakers, I want to thank all of our speakers who are taking the time out of their busy schedules to share their knowledge and experience with us, and especially the Honourable Jean-Yves Duclos, who's the Minister of Health for Canada, Dr. Alika Lafontaine, who is the President of the Canadian Medical Association. Also, we have Dr. Chika Stacey Oriwa, a resident doctor in psychiatry at the University of Toronto, and one of the Time magazine's 2021 Next Generation Leaders. And also, we have Stephen Posnack, who is the Deputy Coordinator of Health for Information Technology in the United States. And I think we're all interested to see what the ONC have been doing in this area over the last few years, and I think they've made a lot of progress. And it's interesting also that many of the issues, although a different health system, are similar to the issues that we face here in Canada as well. So moving on from there. Also, very importantly, I really want to thank all of our sponsors, wonderful sponsors who are helping us bring this conference to you. Without your support from a financial point of view, certainly we wouldn't be able to do this. But also from a technology point of view, we look forward to visiting the kind of trade show that we have, and I think there'll be an opportunity this evening to kind of walk around there and see the contribution that all of the different companies are making and talk to them about their various solutions. So, as you know, this week is Digital Health Week, and it's no coincidence that we've scheduled partnership during this time to celebrate the accomplishments and also focus on the continued progress in the digitization of our health system. Almost 50 participating organizations have joined us this year to help spread the word about the collective achievements. And there's a lot of things to be proud of, and I'm going to mention a few of those now. First of all, we worked together to rapidly implement virtual care programs and services that were vitally needed to keep Canadians safe during the pandemic. Although safety is no longer the primary driver, virtual care has gained a foothold in our health system because it does save patients time and it also eliminates unnecessary travel. It has an important role to play going forward in improving access and equity of care. It is especially important as our health system recovers from the pandemic whilst trying to cope with the backlog of routine procedures and healthcare workers who are facing overwhelming workloads. Increased use of virtual care can alleviate these pressures. We've also worked together to support clinicians in their use of virtual care through a change management system, and we implemented a health literacy program to help Canadians understand and navigate through virtual care. We've worked together to make advances in other areas as well, including Infoway's Prescribe It e-prescribing service, which is now live in 6 jurisdictions, making prescribing safer and more convenient, a multi-jurisdictional process to pre-qualify vendors of virtual visits and remote patient monitoring solutions. And this is helping to enhance the efficiency and value that has already expedited some of the procurement efforts in some jurisdictions. And moving on from there, pan-Canadian interoperability and standards, which is the focus. We recently achieved a significant milestone when the jurisdictional executive table, consisting of 5 jurisdictional executive leads, approved the first versions of the Canadian Patient Summary and the Canadian Fire Exchange, which was a trial for the implementation specifications. This means that jurisdictions like Ontario and Alberta, who are the first to implement the patient summary projects, can call upon their companies to implement these specifications to support better transition of care across different health systems. And this is a first step towards enabling the sharing of patient information in a standardized way with participating jurisdictions. It also supports the commitment of Canada made in the G7 to align to the International Patient Summary. Achieving this milestone was an exhaustive effort that took more than 12 months, 4 rounds of open reviews, a 3-day projectathon event, and 40+ collaborative sessions with jurisdictions, clinicians, vendors, and other key stakeholders. So thank you, everyone who participated in this. Voilà,
So these are a few of the progresses we've made that we would like to celebrate this week. Even if we could be very proud of these, we can do even more. And we will discuss these opportunities throughout the conference.
This is a snapshot from 21-22, and I've mentioned most of these initiatives, but with regard to Prescribe It, I wanted to add that we recently made a significant announcement with Walmart, which is rolling out the service in its stores in Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and also in New Brunswick. That's really great news. It will help gain momentum in these communities and also in rolling out the service across the country. And I'm proud to say that since Infoway's inception, our investments in digital health initiatives have resulted in about $50 billion in benefits to Canadians, clinicians, and the health system. Estimated cumulative benefits from Infoway's investment since inception, they include investments in digital health infrastructure, which account for the bulk of the savings. And we're now also seeing significant growth in benefits as a result of providing clinicians with digital tools and improving access for Canadians.
We have also achieved excellent financial return, $2.5 billion from the federal government since our foundation in 2001.
Is facing a number of dire challenges, and these include, obviously, as we all know, first of all, recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic, which is still going on, by the way, as we all know as well, and dealing with the results of that, the big backlog of services. I talked about the overwhelming workloads that are burning out and driving out health workers from the system. Treatment delays that are harming Canadians and eroding their trust. Also, unattached patients who cannot access the care they need because they don't have a primary care physician. Fragmented systems that are impeding transitions of care, and also sharing of data, information, and lack of data to inform system-level planning and evaluation. We believe Infoway is uniquely positioned to partner with the federal, provincial and territorial governments, the private sector and also the health workforce to modernise our system. We believe it is time for bold digital solutions to alleviate health system distress. So this is what Infoway will try to deliver. We will co-develop a shared pan-Canadian interoperability roadmap that serves the needs of all provinces and territories to achieve common goals in a systematic manner. We'll also collaboratively design, select, implement, adopt, and maintain pan-Canadian data standards and specifications, such as the patient summary specification. We're going to work together to develop a common trusted exchange model to enable health information exchange that mobilizes privacy and security resources to support interoperability efforts. And we're going to harmonize pan-Canadian efforts on company, private sector and vendor conformance, incentives and other mechanisms to maximize the buy-in and active participation from our commercial partners in support of digital health interoperability initiatives. And we hope to develop common requirements for the procurement of health data and IT solutions, including software solutions that embed interoperability standards. And I think in that way, kind of improve the whole procurement process, not just for the purchasers, but also for the vendors as well, and everybody in the system, and hopefully bring technology faster to the market than can be done at this time. So, what are kind of benefits we expect to see from all this activity? First of all, patients and clinicians we think will benefit from better, more integrated care delivery across care settings, more effective communication across care teams, improved service delivery, and more efficient workloads. Patients will access and control their health information in a standardized, comprehensible format, enabling them to share information when and wherever they connect. More convenient, accessible care will empower patients to be engaged in their own care and improve their confidence and trust in the health system. Patients in remote and vulnerable communities will get the care they need, how and when they need it, in a system that delivers equitable care for everybody. Pan-Canadian coordination will generate savings for the provinces and territories that can be reinvested in other care priorities, bolstering system capacity and enabling them to focus more on care delivery. Widespread collection, sharing and use of health information will enable system improvements, and multi-jurisdictional procurements will save time, money for jurisdictions and private sector partners. Pan-Canadian RFPs will convene the market, resulting in more buying power and better value. Enhanced data sharing will be realized through this harmonized solutions and a single kind of procurement process. The Pan-Canadian standards and approaches are needed to create value for money through coordinated procurement, faster speed to market, and elimination of practices like data blocking. In dollar terms, we're projecting annual benefits of more than $500 million in savings in efficiencies for our system, another $500 million in time saved for patients, and about $350 million in time saved for clinicians across the system. So we have our work cut out for us. Je sais que nous pouvons compter.
I know that we can count on you and that you will continue to help us in order to achieve this vision. We are going to have some wonderful discussions during this conference.
So, talking about scholarships, we involve patients in everything we do at Infoway, or we try to. So we awarded 2 scholarships this year to enable patients to join us at Partnership. These are our scholarship recipients, and I want you to thank them for coming. I know Sandy and Aaron will have valuable insights to share with us, so I encourage you to speak with them when you get a chance. And maybe Sandy and Aaron could stand up and just make yourselves known. Great to have you join us. Now would like to introduce one of our patient partners and ask her to say a few words. Flavie Laliberte is a digital health advocate who has lived with chronic pain since 2009, and after suffering from a severe gymnastics accident, she made it her mission to advocate for patients to have access to all their medical data and fast access to quality care. Since 2019, she has served as a Chief Marketing Officer of ILABS Marketing, which is a digital agency focused on UX design and the development of human-centric technologies. From producing TV commercials to harnessing the latest TikTok trends, she's always looking for next technologies to master. For 2 years, Flavie has served as a patient partner with Infoway, Health Canada, and the Centre of Excellence in partnership with patients and the public on the topic of healthcare digital tools for patients. Her ultimate goal is to improve the lives of all Canadian patients through a fully integrated healthcare system. Flavie, please join me.
Thank you so much. Don't worry, I'm not going to give birth on stage. So my name is Flavie Laliberte. Just like he said, when I was 17, I was doing a backflip in gymnastics, and I fell on my head, and that led me to chronic pain of a pinched nerve and damaged disc in my spine. So when I was 17, I started a love-hate relationship with the healthcare system. When I was 22, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety linked to that chronic pain. And this year, I became pregnant. So you could say that my experience represents a lot of what Canadians go through all across Canada. I have never had a family doctor. I have been on the waiting line for 5 years now. More than 6 million Canadians don't have access to a family doctor, which means that they don't have access to referrals and tests and diagnostics, and their situation gets worse, which means that they go to the emergency room, and when they get there, on average, Canadian-wide, they wait more than 21 hours. So when I heard the topic of the conference of data interoperability, I thought, finally, now that is some sexy topic. That's gonna get the kids really excited on TikTok. But what does it really mean for a patient, data interoperability? It means less paperwork anywhere that you go, at the clinic, at the pharmacy, at the hospital. It means filling out less paperwork. It means that I'll never have to see a fax machine again. If I see, thank you, yes. If I see one, I will take it and swing it into the river myself. It means that I will not have to take time off from work because I've been trying to call my clinic and they don't pick up, and you can't leave a message, and you can't send an email, and then you're playing phone tag with clinics and hospitals across the province. It means so much time saved for the patient. And when we think of a patient, we're not regular customers. We're not someone ordering a burrito like, what I'm eating tonight. We're talking about people who are in pain right now. They are in distress right now. Their abilities are impacted by pain. Their memory is impacted by pain. And when they are in distress, is not the time of, what is my plan of care? Where do I go? What do I do? And that's when people get really desperate. And everyone in this room has a story like that. Everyone has been struggling to find a doctor, find treatment, and finally get care. As a future mother, I've been trying to find a family doctor, for my family, for my son. I've been trying to find a pediatrician for my son. I've called 11 clinics, and so far, no luck. But I'm the lucky one. I'm part of the person who's, I would say, a normal amount of care. I don't need to go to the emergency room. I can wait, and I have the time and the money to go into different options of care. I have the option to wait, and I realize my privilege when I say I can do that. And there's so many in Canada, though, so many who are in pain that can't wait. And when I hear about all those great achievements, they're fantastic, and I'm so happy that you're here for doing this work. But everyone is tired, and there's never been a system that is able to help everyone, and it needs to start today. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. And when I look at everyone in this room, I don't blame any of you for the quality of the care. If anything, I commend you for you trying to help, and you are part of the solution, but it needs to start right now, because the situation is dire. When we're talking about the ERs closing because there's too many children with COVID and RSV and the flu, which means there's no surgeries being done. When we're talking about people having to wait, people dying in waiting rooms, making worldwide news, we're in Canada, and this is what people think of us. And notwithstanding all of our stories and our friends and our family that's like, yeah, oh, I just gave up on looking for a doctor. Oh, I went to the private. I had to pay $500, but it's okay. It's okay because I needed it. And what that does is that erode the trust in the system, but also it gives ammunition for people to take down the system. Yesterday, Katie had a great reference about when the house is on fire, you don't go and machete the foundation, you try to take the fire out. So that's what we're all trying to do, is build a better system with an ease of sharing of the data. So I live with chronic condition, chronic pain. 1/3 of Canadians today live with chronic pain. So they have this ongoing relationship with healthcare. Most of them need mental health access. The current wait time to get mental health access in this country is 2 years. The time to apply for assisted death is 3 months. So you do the math about which is easier, getting help or taking the way out. And I'm not saying this in a sensationalism way. I'm just saying people are suffering and they need help, and the data sharing is a big part of that. Because the people on the front line, those healthcare workers, they are doing their absolute best, but the system, the data sharing info system is in the Stone Age right now, and it needs to be shared across the country, because it's not okay if I go to Gatineau and get a test done, and then I cross the river in Ottawa, I have to get all of my tests done again. So that's time wasted, but that's also resources wasted. And we have so much to do to not only improve our system, but climate change are coming. That's going to impact our system. That's going to impact also the waste that we're producing. Healthcare is number 5 industry producing of gas in this country. So it is so important to get started today because the situation is very dire. So I wouldn't do my job as a patient advisor if I didn't tell you why we need this now. So please enjoy this conference, and please do what's best for all Canadians. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Flavie, and we wish you all the very success and health with your pending delivery. And there's probably a few doctors in the house as well. You know, that's, So, je vous présente maintenant le maître de
I would like to introduce our MC for the conference, who most of you already know.
Vice President of Engagement and Marketing. In that role, Shelagh manages relationships with patients, clinicians, and the federal government, and also leads the performance analytics and communications and marketing teams. She's held a number of senior positions since joining Infoway in 2005, and prior to that, she held a number of executive positions in the public and private sectors. In 2017, Shelagh received the inaugural Women Leaders in Digital Health Award, which recognizes female visionaries who are harnessing the power of IT to transform health and healthcare in Canada. Accueillons notre maître de cérémonie.
Let us welcome our Master of Ceremony, Shelagh Maloney.
Thank you, Michael. Alors, bonjour à tous. Bienvenue à la...
Good morning and welcome to our 2022 Infoway Partnership Conference in the beautiful city of Montreal.
And I'm looking forward to spending the next couple of days with you as we walk through this program, very engaging and interesting partnership program that we've got in store for you. Comme Michael l'a mentionné, c'est la première fois qu'on a...
As Michael said, this is the very first time we're meeting in person since 2019. So once again, I'm extremely pleased to see you again.
Absence. You all look fabulous. We haven't changed a bit. And you know what's so great about spending the next 2 days together is no one ever will say, hey, you're on mute. So that's something to look forward to. As was Elder Sky mentioned and a few others, we are a sold-out show. We've got 370 people who are in attendance, our largest partnership conference ever. So again, thank you for coming. I think that's testament that we are ready to see one another in person again. And special shout out, we've got over 100 people joining us on a live webcast. So bienvenue de Montréal for all of you who are joining us online. Michael already introduced our patient scholarship winners, Arun and Sandy. We had a pleasure of spending some time with the patients last night, and you just heard from Flavie, which was amazing. Thank you so much. And so we all recognize the tremendous value that we get when we include patients and partners in all the work that we do. Their advice and insight is really valuable for us. Alors, je suis très fière.
I'm extremely pleased to announce today that once again this year, the Partnership Conference has been certified by Patients Included.
Just as that we have included patients in the life cycle of the partnership. They were involved in our planning, they were involved in as presenters and as participants. And this is our partner table, so you've met Sandy and Arun and Anne and Flavie, so please take some time to introduce yourselves to them. Is somebody advancing my slides for me? Great, okay. I was supposed to do that. I can't do so many things at once. A few years ago, actually, it was with the help of Anna Reardon, who's one of our patient partners that you'll hear from tomorrow. Infoway developed a patient, family, and caregiver recognition and inclusion statement. And so if you will bear with me, I'd just like to read that statement to you now. We recognize the unwavering commitment and essential impact that patients, families, caregivers have and will always have on the Canadian healthcare system. Canada Health Infoway pledges to continuously listen to the perspectives and learn from the lived experiences of patients, families, and caregivers to ensure respectful collaboration in the work that we do and influence. We look forward to building true partnerships and acknowledging shared successes. So thank you again. Merci pour votre participation.
Thank you for your participation.
Instigated a few years ago that we're really proud of is we try to give back to the communities in which we are hosting the conference. And so l'organisation qu'on a décidé d'aider.
The organization we've decided to help is called Supporting the Montreal Community. Share the warmth here. And I like their mission statement. We work where the need is the greatest to have the greatest impact.
Here, there are flyers I noticed on your table. On your tables, there's also a table in the registration area. Infoway, on behalf of the speakers, has donated to Share the Warmth, and I would encourage you, if you are so inclined, to make a donation yourselves if you would like to. Let's talk about the mobile app. I'm going to stand here like I'm holding my phone up, but if you haven't already, on essaie d'avoir le plus moins de papier possible.
We're trying to go paperless as much as possible for this year's conference.
All the information that you have, everything you need to know is on our mobile app. Speakers, attendees, programs, locations, etc. So what I would strongly encourage you, if you haven't already done so, download the app. There's a QR code on the back of your name tag. You would have received an email, a couple of emails from Infoway yesterday with your access codes and your login ID, etc. We have a fountain of knowledge out in our registration foyer area, so if you're having any questions or any problems, please see them at the front desk and they can help you download that app. And just like to especially acknowledge Altera Digital Health, who is our mobile app sponsor this year.
Hello, I'm John Lee Bartlett, the Managing Director for Canada and Vice President of International Solutions for Altera Digital Health. While our name is new to you, we have a long commitment to Canada. Discover how Altera is ascending to a new era of healthcare. Our solutions help health systems across Canada deliver care to over 40% of the Canadian population. Recently recognized by Black Book, Altera was rated the top overall EHR vendor in 3 countries, including Canada. I look forward to meeting you at the Altera table during the networking reception. Thank you and enjoy your conference.
So thank you, Altera, and look forward to joining up. And I think that you can talk to one another and communicate on the app as well. One last thing before we start, you will notice there are headphones. Some of you have worn them already. Because we are in Quebec, we are trying to do this as bilingually as possible. There will be some sessions this afternoon that will be en français seulement. Alors, if you would like to, and en anglais aussi, for those of you who are French speaking, there are headphones at the back of the room. You have to deposit a piece of ID and take a headset. So we encourage you, if you are not fluently bilingual and would like to understand some of the sessions this afternoon, to grab a set of headphones before the rush, perhaps. All right, let's get this party started. Let's start with our first session. I think this is a great way to start the conference. We have a bit of a cross-country group who is going to lead the discussions, Modernizing Healthcare Through Connected Care. I think Flavie made a great case for why we need this. Our moderator for the session, who I will introduce, is Alvaro Mestre. Alvaro is a vice president at Canada Health Infoway. He leads our account management team and the virtual care programs. So Alvaro, I don't see you. I know you're here somewhere. So I'll get you to come up and introduce your panelists, and let's get started. Thanks, everyone.